Time to get to assembling, putting things together. All right. All right, so let's see now. What I'm going to do is before we actually begin, just going to give it a few minutes and see if we can't share out some of this. See if anyone's interested in hanging out and chit-chatting for the next little bit. Let's see. Let's see. All right, so we're going to take a look at putting together a Wraith Fighter. Okay. Media blast time. Let's see if we can get some people interested in popping in and checking things out while I gab away at whatever I talk about. All right. So what are we gonna say? A Wraith Fighter. Of course, I can't spell. Assembling a Hemlock Wraith Fighter and thinking about all right, so let's see. We've been messing around with a lot of the different rules lately, just kind of playing around with them, testing things out, seeing how they basically work. Really enjoying what's been released so far for the most part. I'm really happy with the big direction. Sorry about the delay, guys. All right. So let's see here. What have we got? So we got the box. We'll open that up in a second or two. I know, not particularly exciting right now, but give me a few minutes to get this started and we will chit-chat about everything. Man, this mouse is loud. Alright, so let's see. We'll give everyone just a moment or two. If anyone does join in, we'll see. Alright, what do we have? What have we got? The box, inside the box. So I picked this up the other day at the tournament that went on in Petawawa there. The surprise one that I was actually rather shocked about. Did not expect that, so that was pretty exciting. I'm going to have to do a little bit of a discussion about that later on. Basically about the whole tournament. I did a quick little blurb about actually being notified about it and everything, which was pretty cool. I was a bit taken back, to be quite honest. That was unexpected. So I picked up the Wraith Fighter, and I've been really kind of torn because I really like the look of the Crimson Hunter, and as soon as I got a hold of the Crimson Hunter box, I was excited, put it together right away, and haven't looked back since. I didn't find the Wraith Fighter really that great of an option in the last edition, considering Jink played a huge role in keeping your fighter alive. So it really would not have seen the table if ever. And when we're taking a look at vehicles always shooting and trying to essentially take advantage of every turn and being able to shoot as much as possible, that's definitely something that we want to keep in mind when we're selecting our vehicles for our list back then. So I always erred on the side of I want to be able to shoot a lot. Okay, so transfer sheet, that's pretty standard. Pretty normal. So we've got, what else we got here? We got a sprue. Yep, all the big parts of the base, which is awesome. And then of course the windshield, that's pretty straightforward. And then the other little bits. So what we'll do is I'm going to get rid of this box. And I'm not going to make the mistake of putting it on the floor like last time because my rabbit ate it. The joys of having little monsters running around eating all your stuff. Flying bases. I love these flying bases. They're so sturdy. I made some for... Here, let me get that. So a whole bunch of years ago, they released the Nightwing, and a lot of us in the Ottawa area got really excited about that, and they were pretty expensive. So what we tried to do is we tried to make our own kind of Nightwing version, which worked. It was a lot of fun doing, and a whole bunch of us made them, and a lot of people had different takes on them. They actually put turrets on them and all kinds of different things. But when it came to the flying bases, I really didn't have anything at the time, but I do like the look of these. They're pretty neat. Here, let me move the sprue. Put this down here for now so you can take a peek at it. And what I had was little bits of plastic from a Star Trek model set, and I made these up. Just stuck them on a foam base previously, and then when the actual flying bases came out, I ripped them off and toss them on these, and I think they turned out, they kind of look like little bits of wraith bone. Pretty, I think they're neat. I like them. I get a kick out of it. So that was pretty cool, and I'm really excited to see what the Forge World Xenos book's going to be like, because I'm really interested in flying a whole bunch of aircraft. That is for sure. So when it comes to the different detachments, I really want to dive into the Air Wing detachment for sure, and then of course the Outrider one until I can get all of the rules for the Forge World ones and be able to fly. Oh, let's see. Well, I've got one Crimson Hunter. I have this one Wraith Fighter. I hope to get another one. So once I get those 2, 3, so I'll have three aircraft for one detachment. I have 3 Nightwings for another detachment, and the third detachment would be a Void Raven bomber and 2 Razor Wings. So that's kind of something I want to go towards in the future. But right now, my current list. So my current list is a bunch of Swooping Hawks, Shining Spears, Fire Dragons, and 2 Hemlocks. These Wraith Fighters are disgusting. They're so good. All right. So first things first, what we're going to do is we're going to assemble the... Yeah. Well, for my Dark Eldar, I'll usually assemble the pilot inside and make sure that everything looks good and not paint over the canopy, paint inside the canopy, paint the entire cockpit and whatnot. But for this, I think I'm going to shy away from that because all of my Eldar vehicles, they're painted over black. So, should be fun. And welcome those of you guys that are kind of jumping in and checking things out. Don't shy away from using the chat. This is like totally want to be interactive and stuff, so feel free to say hi. So I got the chat up here. We can see that. Did a little test there just to make sure it was actually working correctly. It wasn't getting any real lag from it. So I'm just looking over some of the sprue just to kind of see if there's any real concerns or if there were any mold, like any problems with the mold. But for the most part, everything's looking pretty fantastic. So I don't think I will be painting inside the canopy. I'm not going to be too worried about that. I'll still assemble everything in there when it comes to the seat and the console, and I'll probably use the rest of the model, the guy in the cockpit. I've used him for crew members on the ground as an objective. Thank you. I'm getting there. I'm slow. So first things first, we need to assemble the cockpit, which I'm not too worried about. So we got to go with the engine pieces. So let's get that done. Let's get those engine pieces clipped out. So just using some small clippers, nothing too exciting. So let's talk a little bit about the Wraith Fighter. So this thing is a beast. So in comparison to maybe the, let's see here, the Crimson Hunter. So the Crimson Hunter is definitely more of an anti-aircraft role because it has re-rolls when it comes to wounding flyers and stuff, or anything with flying. But this guy has auto hits, which is just disgusting. And you can also dish out mortal wounds with the psychic ability. So it's just even more, I don't know, if you compare the two side by side, it's just not very, I don't know, it's not very impressive when you're looking at the Crimson Hunter. When you're looking at the Hemlock, though, I'm taken back with how good it is. It's harder to hit too, so once I'm done clipping these out and I start going through cleaning up the flash, I'll talk a little bit about the actual vehicle itself, because wow, I can't wait to get the second one and get these guys in the air. I was looking over a list earlier today, and wow, I managed to fit in 6 Wraith Fighters and 4 Crimson Hunters, and it's pretty gross. It's just disgusting. And that's basically with 2,000 points and 2 detachments, both the air wing detachments. So I was really just wow, couldn't get over how good it was. So let's see here. So the Crimson Hunter itself, its ballistic skill is 2+, but it's got heavy weapons, and there isn't anything in there saying that you benefit from moving with heavy weapons in any way, shape, or form. So you're pretty much looking at that 2+ to hit right off the bat, changing to a 3+, which isn't that great. Like, it's good, and the rerolls to wound are fine. I think really it has its place, I suppose, but I don't know, not too crazy about it. It does have 12 wounds, just like the Wraith Fighter, which is cool. We're looking at Strength 6, we're looking at Toughness 6, 3 attacks, which is the same thing. Leadership 8, they're both Leadership 8, and they both have 3+ save. So the stat lines are pretty much the exact same thing, except for their ballistic skill. But their ballistic skill really doesn't come into play too much when you're looking at the Wraith Fighter, because the Wraith Fighter's weapons are pretty much auto hit. So whatever, it doesn't matter to me. I don't care. I'm not talking about psychic phase yet and psychic ability, just kind of looking at the basic stat lines right now. So how's this going to hold up against a knight? Well, yeah, that's a good question. I don't know. I'm going to have to test that out. I'm not sure how it's going to hold up against a knight. Because knights have their invulnerable saves. The weapon on the Hemlock is 16 inches, so it's short range. You really have to get in there, but we'll talk a little bit about some of its abilities in a second, which could make that not a terrible thing to kind of deal with. So when we're looking at the heavy D side, so it has 2 of them, and it's range 16. You're looking at an assault D3. So right off the bat, you're getting a lot of shots off. Your strength is strength 10, so you're going to be wounding a lot of units on either 3s or 4s for the most part. It's or even 2s in a lot of cases. When you're looking at the AP, it's -4, so that's huge too. There are weapons out there that are mostly -3. There's a few when you're looking at lances and stuff. That's when you start getting into -4. But if you can prevent any kind of save whatsoever, there's a good chance you're going to be eliminating that unit. When you're looking at stuff like, let's say, not a lance, just any weapon that would have, for example, a -3 for their AP. Stuff like Marines, they're still going to have a 6+ save, and there is a chance, and there's always going to be that one time when you need to eliminate the entire unit, and somehow, in some miracle, that Space Marine unit managed to save 2 6+ saves, and you're stuck with a unit causing just a pain, and you have to divert another unit to wipe them out. Again, split fire is going to be good for that kind of a situation, but every shot counts in small unit or elite armies. So if you can prevent those other units from sticking around, you want to take advantage of that for sure. So the -4 AP is going to be a big thing, and the fact that it's got 2 damage just straight off the hop. So you're going to be taking out those things like, if they should happen to fail that 5+ invul, stuff like Terminators, you're going to be taking them out. A lot of characters, you start pounding in those shots, you're going to be causing multiple wounds and causing a lot of damage. So as much as I like the D6 on the Crimson Hunter for the Bright Lances, which is great, there's always that chance, well, when it comes to me rolling, there's always that chance of getting the good old 1, and that happens a lot with me. So I like for sure stuff. So the guaranteed hits, the guaranteed damage, which is nice too, and the preventing most saves for most cases. So stuff like Marines getting no save whatsoever. Can Karn ride that thing like an Eldritch Unicorn? Yes, absolutely. In any of our games, Ryan, if that comes down to us playing, you can use the Wraith the Wraith Fighter as a chariot for Karn to ride in on. Yeah. And because of that, because he's going to be riding on it, he's going to be able to hit flyers on a 2+. What's my favorite mission from 8 so far? So far, I've only really tested out the war ones, the only war. So in a lot of our test games, I've been just kind of focusing on getting the units down, getting the various different methods of play down, and really focusing on making sure that we're getting the rules right. So when it comes to the missions themselves, only war has been kind of our go-to thing lately, and really taking advantage of the randomness in it. So we've played pretty much all the different options within the mission, which is kind of neat. How you don't necessarily know what you're going to be playing until you actually start playing the mission out. So so far, I really like that one. But as soon as I get an opportunity to, I'm really looking forward to diving into a lot of the various different mission types and trying out the more competitive side of the missions. So I'm actually really excited to see what Frontline Gaming does with the missions too. So it should be pretty neat. So, here's something. Some people sometimes ask what type of glue I use. So I'm pretty cheap, and I do I do a lot of adjustments to my armies. So for certain situations, I might do a repaint of an entire army. I've done that with my Eldar a few years back. Went from Ulthwy to a more blue color, and I just use this really inexpensive. Can you even zoom in? I'll have to take pictures of this later, but it's just a dollar store adhere glue, and it holds well, but when you strip a model, it cleans off really nicely. It just kind of peels off when you put it into something like simple green. So, okay, we got our engine parts off. So I'm gonna glue these together real quick here. And then we gotta work on that little pod out the butt end. So comparing the different models, the Eldar model kits to the Dark Eldar model kits, I'm really happy with how they took a lot of care when building out the, let's say, the Crimson Hunter or the Wraith Fighter. They look really good. Same thing with the Razor Wing. They look fantastic. But as amazing as the Void Raven is, like, it's got a beautiful detailed cockpit, and all of the bits work out so nicely together. But when you get to the tail, you get this really nice arc and a follow through in the tail with the Razor Wing. But when you look at the Void Raven, it just stops and there's no continuation. Let me go get the model real quick. So here, I'll show you guys. Forgive me, I don't paint the bottoms of my models, but very often. So you've got this really nice continuation of the arc here and the tail. But when it comes to this one, it just stops. There's like nothing there. It's so weird. It's like they just stopped building the model. That was confusing. When I first saw it, I was like, where's the rest of this? Is half of my model, or is a piece of my model missing? All right, so we are done gluing in the engine. So let's take a look at that little pod piece here. All right, so last time we did this was years ago when the Crimson Hunter first came out. So this is 35, no, 12, 11, and 13. Let's see how quickly I can screw up this model. Won't be the first time, won't be the last. So I'm just going to clip these off. Oh, continue talking a little bit about the actual model we're building here. So we talked about the weapon itself and how I really like it. I'm really impressed with what they did with the weapons. So it's auto hit, it's got 2 damage, it's AP -4, it's strength 10. So the only big drawback, of course, is going to be that it's only 16 inches. But with that said, you've got wings of cane. So basically when the model advances, you have to go 20 inches to move to your movement characteristic, the movement phase, instead of rolling a dice. Each time this model moves, you first have to pivot on the spot up to 90 degrees. So you move your 90 degrees, and then of course you move your distance, so your 20 inches. Now with that said, you can do that vector dance like we used to. I don't think the Hemlock had it in the previous edition. Fire breathing duck products. Actually, I was talking to my wife, and she said if anyone wants a shirt, let us know, and we can look into that actually. So yeah, that was actually kind of cool. On our on the weekend when we did the when she did the tournament for me, which was just blew my mind away. She made shirts, cups, and some mason jar bottles and stuff like that, and all with the Fire Breathing Duck logo. So if people are interested in it, we could potentially do that. We could potentially sell merchandise if you guys want to. That's up to you guys. Thank you. All right, well, we can always look into it. If we get enough people interested in, message me on the Facebook page, and I will definitely look into that if you guys want that. For sure. Let's see, what else do we have here? So when it comes to movement, so you move your 20 inches, you move your 90 degrees up to 90 degrees first, you move, and then you move again. You can essentially move your 90 degrees again after you are done moving. Just always keep in mind that it doesn't count towards your movement, the distance anyways, when you first try it. All right, so those two pieces are done. Next is number 13, lucky 13. Lucky 13 is, if I can count. Oh, my old eyes, I can't see this. Where'd it go? It's one of those, it looks like 13. It doesn't have 13 beside it. But is it 13? Oh, there we go. Found it. It looks exactly like a piece number 9, except it's much bigger. So, being able to move basically a box around the target that you're looking at. So you find a specific target on the table, you move towards it, and you can essentially fly around it for the most part. So that's really nice with that Wings of Cain. So the 16 inches isn't that big of a deal. You could potentially go a full, I think 60 inches is the maximum on it. So that's pretty gross just from the get-go. Of course, as you get damaged, then your distance and ballistic skill get reduced. But you have to lose half of your wounds. So once you lose half your wounds, then you're down to hitting on 4s and moving 20 to 40 inches. And then if you're down to 1 to 3 wounds, then you're looking at something like 25 inches is your maximum, and then 5+ to hit. But if you get down that low, there's a good chance that your vehicle is not going to be lasting very long. Then, of course, okay, we'll look into that for you guys. When it comes to airborne, which is really nice. So the model can't be charged. So you can only be charged by units with the fly special rule. Or I guess really there aren't any special rules. I guess it's more keyword, right? So if it has the keyword fly in it, then it can assault. So you got to watch out for those Helldrakes or monstrous creatures that are flying around and just causing absolute havoc everywhere. So do we look good so far? Not bad, not bad, not bad. Excellent. All right, let's glue this together. You know, test fit 2 times, glue once. Turn this into a drinking game. How many times can I get my fingers stuck together? All right. Big end goes on the big end, the small end goes on the small end. Haha. Perfect. That piece is done. I just need number 13 put onto it. And it is little sprocket bits on the inside. We can do that. And there we go. All right, so we talked about airborne. So it can't be assaulted unless it's assaulted by a model that has the fly keyword in it. It's hard to hit, so the opponent has to subtract 1 from its hit roll for attacks when they're attacking the target, or the model, I should say, during the shooting phase. So it doesn't apply to assaults, but definitely part of the reason why I really like the Eldar vehicles. For the most part, they've got that hard to hit rule. Crimson Hunter also has airborne, it also has Wings of Cain, and it also has the hard to hit keyword in it. Now, one of the big differences is the vehicle, the Wraith Fighter has a Mind Shock pod. So anything within 12 inches of it, of the Hemlock Fighter, you subtract 1 from their leadership characteristic. So leadership's going to be a big thing for continuing to destroy units throughout a game. So if you could really take advantage of that Hemlock, or of the getting in close to an enemy unit and causing enough wounds to it to make it have to take a leadership test and additional minuses to it, then there's a good chance they're going to lose more models. So in the psychic phase, you're going to be dishing out a mortal wound. In the shooting phase, you're going to be shooting out D3 wounds twice, and you're going to be sitting close to it for the most part, and hopefully causing additional wounds if you haven't killed off the entire unit. So fingers crossed, right? Right, the bottom of the plane. Let's cut out the bottom of the plane here. Don't want to screw this up, so I gotta pay attention to the angle I'm cutting at. Wow, those clippers are louder than I thought. Finally picked up clippers that have the cushion a few years back, and what a difference that makes. And having the spring on the inside, oh, lots of your hand can get fatigued when doing this. I hadn't really noticed it before, but it does. It really does. Let's get some of this extra little bits off. There we go. So what else do we have to say about this thing? So the real differences are when you're looking at the Crimson Hunter and the Hemlock Wraith Fighter. So it has a Mind Shock pod. It has Spirit Stones, which is a nice addition too. So the Crimson Hunter has Sky Hunter, which is granting the ability to re-roll failed wounds against units that have, or targets I should say, that have the keyword fly in it. So they're really designed for taking out anything with the fly characteristic in it, anything with the keyword fly, and that's for the Crimson Hunter. You'll notice one change too for Eldar players anyways. The Crimson Hunter can only take the Star Cannons if it's an Exarch. So right now you're stuck with the Bright Lancer, the Pulse Lasers, if you just take the standard Crimson Hunter. The Star Cannons are kind of nice because they do a straight 3 damage, which is pretty cool. It's nice having that for sure guaranteed damage, although they're only strength 6 and AP 3. But they're still pretty good. They're 2 shots each as well, but they're also a heavy weapon. So you're going to be hitting at a -1. When you're talking about the Exarch, though, you're going to be able to re-roll 1s for the model when trying to hit. So there's some benefits for the Exarch, getting some additional re-rolls in there. It's pretty expensive though compared to the Wraith Fighter. There we go. Getting there, almost done. I was really tempted to model these up as Crimson Hunters, but arm them like Wraith Fighters, because I really don't care for the Wraith Fighter look. I really like the Crimson Hunter much better. It's got that X-Wing feel to it. So I thought that was pretty cool. The Hemlock's looks just wasn't as much my thing, but I'm thinking, you know, WYSIWYG, all that kind of stuff, I might as well just bite the bullet and model it the way it's supposed to be modeled. You know, suck it up, man, just do it. Just do it. I know a lot of people have talked about magnetizing it so you can swap between them, but I've got so many flyers as it is, and I really like the way the Wraith Fighter works. I think a flight of 2 Wraith Fighters and a Crimson Hunter would be fun to fly. It would be a lot better to fly 3, Wraith Fighters, but I like my Crimson Hunter. Heyo, welcome. All right. Clean that up. So we talked about some of the differences about the Crimson Hunter, the Crimson Hunter Exarch, talking a little bit more about the Wraith Fighter when we're looking at the Spirit Stones. So the Crimson Hunter really just has its 3+ save. With the Hemlock, you've got a 3+ save, and in addition to that, you've got your Spirit Stone. So you roll a d6 for each time that the model suffers an unsaved wound or mortal wound, which is huge. Not much gets slaves against mortal wounds. So you get a mortal wound, then you can roll a d6. If you get a 6, then it's ignored. And if you're smart, keep those command points around to re-roll any failed rolls if that's what you want to use it on. So I'm pretty excited about trying that out. Bottom of the plane is nice and clean. So I need my intakes. Let's get those intakes done. Chopped up and cleaned off. So 15 and 16. So, but I'm excited about seeing a lot more models that haven't really seen any attention for the past few editions. So, like for example, the Wraith Fighter, and a lot of flyers really haven't seen the table in a long time. But models like, let's see here, Shining Spears are something I'm working on testing out, and I really like how they work. They're awesome in combat. So I'm going to be putting together some, what is it? A Farseer backing them up with Guide, and running them forward together with the Farseer just behind them. I've got 4 in the unit right now. We've got an Exarch, and I just went with I've got 3 laser lances, and the Exarch has a Star Lance. So Star Lance is a better strength. Much better strength. I think it's like strength 8. And the laser lances are strength 6, I believe. So that's all cleaned up. So what are some other units that I've looked at that I'm really excited about trying out? I haven't really dived into the Harlequin as much as I should have. I have my entire Harlequin army sitting on standby, just drooling to be let out of their carrying case. Because close combat's so good in this game. This edition is just loving close combat units. It's just amazing. I'm loving it so much. So let's see if we can get these on here properly. Okay, it fits well. Does this one fit well? It's such a big difference in model kits from the 90s till now. Whereas back in the day, you had to hope and pray that everything fit together and nothing fouled up. Whereas now everything has its exact space. So as long as you clean it off appropriately, it fits in really, really nicely. So let's see here. Engine 1 feeds good. Engine 2. Oh. Fits nicely, nice and snug. Okay. Let's glue it up. Wait, what side does this go on? Okay. Let's glue this up. And see how it goes. It's going to be quiet for a second or 3. So I wanted to take advantage of having a little time tonight to, why isn't this fitting? I wanted to take advantage tonight to get a little bit of modeling done. I'm going to be traveling for the next 2 weeks coming the weekend. So hopefully I can get a game in this week. I've got a Dark Eldar versus who do we fight against? Chaos this weekend. Falling stuff. There is like a little piece of flash or something. Let's just stop it from going in. So that was a fun game. Dark Eldar. Wow, Dark Eldar. Whew. You want to have a leg up on Dark Eldar? Take a look at Scarredcast's page, because they are going to be a force to be reckoned with in this edition. They are so good. The Dark Lances, the Void Raven Bomber, the Razor Wings. Oh my gosh. So many Dark Lances you can fit into a list. Oh, I'm loving it. And what I like about it is I can play my pirates the way they are in the fluff for my army, and they work. They're very good. Flying around just shooting stuff and scaring people with their sky writing. They're the Broken Sigil Cabal. Okay, those are done. Double, triple check where it's got to go on the inside. What else is there to say about this Crimson Hunter thing? Or, sorry, wow. I've been thinking about Crimson Hunter so much for the past few days. This Wraith fighter. I just think it's the better option over the Crimson Hunter right now, anyways, in the test games that I'm playing through so far. So there we go. We've got that assembled up. Yes, witches. I like the idea of them being able to hold people in combat potentially. So the pistols though, that's the only thing I'm worried about. So you got to be very particular about what you're going after when it comes to assaulting with them. But other than that, they're going to be a lot of fun. And Lilith, oh wow, Lilith is a beast in combat. Her weapons just, I think they're like, what, AP 4 or something like that? AP -4? Just awesome. Love it. I think they actually did a really good job on a lot of the characters. If you go with the generic HQs, they're decent. They're decent. But there's just something about how cheap a lot of the HQs are now that are named characters. So Baharoth flying down there with all of his Swooping Hawks. So he's lending out rerolls to them. The Swooping Hawks are lending out leadership bonuses to everybody. And the Phoenix Lord, when he jumps over people, he's causing mortal wounds. The what are they? The Swooping Hawks are doing potential mortal wounds to people. I'm so excited. I've got my Swooping Hawks, 2 squads all set to go. I've got my Phoenix Lord all set to go. He has not seen the table properly since, honestly, 2nd edition was probably the last time that I fielded him seriously. 3rd, 4th, 5th, it was just mostly just putting him on the table to fool around or putting him into the Phoenix Court. I think that was about it. Other than that, I didn't use him at all. It just wasn't worth it. Just wasn't worth it. Which was sad because Swooping Hawks are probably my favorite aspect of them all. Alright, so we got this guy done. Now we've got to get that little cover, which is number 10, I think. Yep. So I get that little cover piece in here to cover up the Mind Shock pod. Or if this is a Crimson Hunter, the Pulse Laser. Crimson Hunter looks really good with the Pulse Laser and the Bright Lances. I'm just gushing over that model though. It's probably one of my favorites. Swooping Hawks, Crimson Hunter, and what else? What else is a really nice model that I like? Yeah, this is pretty much all Eldar all the time. Access. Noble. The Avatar is such a beast. Oh yeah, the Avatar. Yes. You know, I haven't even played around with him too much. I looked at the stats briefly, but I didn't really play around with him very much at all. Let me just take a quick look at him really quickly here. He is, what is he again? Avatar of Cain, so he's 13 power. Not too worried about the points. Like, he's ballistic skill, weapon skill 2. What's the really nice thing about him? He's got battle focus, which is always cool. Molten body, so rolling that d6 whenever the avatar suffers a mortal wound. On a 5+, that wound's ignored, so that's really cool. 5+ invulnerable save, 3+ regular save. So I like that he's saving not only against just regular AP with his invulnerable, he's also saving against mortal wounds, which is pretty big. There are very few saves against mortal wounds out there. The fearless thing, having fearless on him and a bunch of storm guardians running around, that is just too perfect. Just too perfect. Okay, so that piece is looking good. Let's just double check where it connects. Okay, so glue that into place, and then we'll get to work on the other pieces. So I'm going to put the canopy on this, of course, but I'm not going to put the pilot in. I might put a seat in, but I'm going to use the pilot for a different model. I like his helmet, and I want to use it for something else. I've used the other one for objectives, which was pretty cool. That was pretty neat. So I've used him in narrative kind of games in the past where he was a downed pilot and you had to rescue him, or he was the pilot of a vehicle, so you had to go out and rescue him. Oh, what are some other narrative things I've done in the past? I've had Bone Singers on the table having to go up and repair a Scorpion 2. So I had to go up and repair a Scorpion heavy tank. That was fun. Barely made it too. Alright, so let's move this to here. Okay, so the tail, the little pod that goes on the tail, we'll put that in here. Next. And there we go. So it's coming along slowly. Need the chair in its place. So I'll put the chair in, make a mess while I'm doing it. And I think we'll put the console in as well, but I'm not going to put in the pilot. See how that comes along a little later on. So we need those two pieces. One of the big reasons why I paint over my canopies is I got a really good deal on some fire prisms a long time ago, but the fire prisms weren't in the best condition, as well as two not in the greatest condition falcons. So that's 4 tanks that I couldn't rescue the canopies on. The canopies were basically frosted over or painted with, I think it was like Tester's Tester's paints. So I couldn't get all of the paint off on the inside of one of them. So I just stuck with just spray painting over the entire canopy and then painting them black. Before I did my repaint, when I was strictly Ulthui, I did a black paint for the entire vehicle, but the windows were blue with reflections in them, and then I'd cover them up with Ard coat so they'd be nice and shiny. But I've been going with more of a matte look to them. I thought matte would be a little bit more kind of alien looking in compared to a shiny glossy canopy. So at least I thought it did. Probably doesn't. Probably looks lazy for all I know. Again, I'm not really a painter, So I like assembling, and I love playing. Painting, not really my favorite. So usually my painting schemes are focused on speed painting. So my Dark Eldar have a lot of washes and a lot of dry brushing and highlights, and my Eldar are a lot of base coats with various different highlights as well, or dry brushing, sorry, and then some very light highlights. I've tried to tie each of my armies together in some way, shape, or form. The dry brushing and style stuff is also on my Harlequins too. It's a mix of washes and highlights, actually. So all three armies have their own thing. The Dark Eldar, they're washes mostly. The Eldar are straight up dry brushing, and then the good old Harlequins are a mix of the two, so washes and dry brushes. All three armies, their spirit stones or energy weapons and stuff like that, are green in some way, shape, or form to kind of tie them together. And they all have blues or purples tied into them as well. So my Dark Eldar are a blue with a wash over them. The Eldar are dark blue, almost gray, coming up to a bright blue. And then everything's finished off with good old... Wait a minute. This console's not fitting in properly. Read the rules. The instructions. No, do I even need... Let me check something here. Do I even need the darn thing? Does it actually clip on and glue? So it does the sides. It glues on the front of the jet. Screw it. Don't have time to worry about it, because I am not worried about it. Alright, let's get the seat on and start bringing this bird together. Oh, so I'm still in that limbo of Crimson Hunter with Hemlock weapons, or just go straight Hemlock. And I think we're leaning towards straight Hemlock. I asked my son, he's like almost 4. I'm like, what one do you like better? Do you like the one with the single fin on the back? Or do you really like the one that looks like an X-Wing? He didn't want the X-Wing. He wanted the other one. That kind of made me sad. Alright, so seats in place. Yeah, tail's there, everything's there. Cool, we're good. Let's put and clip out the top. And see how this goes. There we go. So my list I'm going to be testing out next. I was talking about Hemlocks, the Shining Spears. I was talking about the Swooping Hawks and Fire Dragons in it. So it's focused on high strength weapons, mortal wounds, and speed. So my theme for this year, or this edition, for my Eldar at least, is speed. So I just want to focus everything on speed. So I'm going to convert all of my scatter laser bikes over to shuriken cannons to take advantage of battle focus, because it works really great with the assault weapons as well as the rapid fire, which is really cool. And jet bikes get to benefit from it, which they didn't in the past. So that's pretty cool. Scatter lasers have their place, so we'll see how that goes. I'll probably keep a few of them, but they're definitely a lot slower. But they still do their job that they used to do, long range fire. See, that's cool, Noble. When it comes to your armies, I like that. I like it when people kind of go with either a theme or they go with what they like the most. So I can definitely appreciate that a lot. For your Eldari, do you paint your aspect warriors aspect colors, or do you paint them the color of your craft world? So that's always something I'm really curious about, because I know there's a lot of different opinions on it. And I cheat with mine. Almost done on this. I need to get some new blades, I think. These ones are starting to... I've run out of blades, and this one's starting to act up a bit. Never cut with a dull blade. See, that's cool. They look really... I bet they look really striking on the table, too. So, for myself, I just stick with one color, and what I did is I did kind of like a little fluff storyline around them when I did the actual repaint, because at the time Ulthwe was yellow and black. I wasn't too crazy about that, and I think it was just moving into the bone colors. So what I did is I made up a fluff around them being Ulthwe, but being a small fleet of ships that were sent out by Ulthwe into the Eye of Terror to go do a job. And their job was to bring back technology from Crone worlds. So that was their job. So they're like, okay, we'll do that. So part of the fluff, they went out, did their thing, and then when they came back after, I don't know how many hundreds of years, they, Ulthwe said, thanks for the stuff, and go away, you guys are creepy and tainted. You guys have been in the warp in the Eye of Terror too long. So what I did is I said that, okay, their armor's blue, because for whatever... psychically, for it being a psychically attuned race, and it being Wraithbone and stuff like that, they turned blue because they're sad. There. Because I wanted a bright color. They're a bunch of melancholy elves. All right, we're starting to come together there. Starting to come together. Extra bits. If you don't end up with extra bits, you haven't assembled it properly, right? Yeah, maybe. So we'll glue that together in a minute or two. Let's take a look at the next piece. So here's where we choose. Do we go Crimson Hunter or do we go Hemlock? We're going Hemlock. So we need to put together the Mind Shock pod. Oof. And the D-sides. You know what? Maybe the tail will grow on me. Maybe it will. Okay, we'll see. We will see. What are some other things that are kind of cool? What's a unit that I'd like to see a little bit more of on the table? I think the Hellions. Haven't seen too many of them on the table lately. No, Scari's trying them out, and it sounds like he likes them. I've been trying the Reavers. I've been putting them on the table a lot, and they're effective. They have their assault roll. Their Grav Talon and Caltrops have changed up a bit, and I lost a knife. How do you lose a knife? I have like a tiny little area here that I'm working in, and I managed to lose a whole knife. It's right here. You guys saw it, but I didn't. Of course. Of course. So, thumbs up if you're laughing, because I lost a knife that was plain in sight. Yeah, it was in cover. So clean this up a bit. I guess it looks neat. It looks kind of cool. Looks good. So Noble says, Fluff-wise, my Farseers are Eldrad fanboys. Oh, I like that. Cool. So they like to cosplay. What? That is awesome. That's a good excuse to have. That is fantastic. I think that is the best. I'm excited. That's the best reason for having the Eldrad model in an army, but maybe even painted up a little bit different. They're fanboys and they're cosplaying. That's fantastic. No, Atomic, keep me guessing. Keep me guessing. It's more entertaining if I'm fumbling around trying to find stuff and you guys can see it. So, yeah, hashtag Darby can't find a knife in front of his face. There we go. Awesome. Yeah, well, since we're kind of chatting here, I'll tell you guys a little bit about the tournament this weekend, which was our last 7th Ed tournament. So I just found out a little bit more about it when I actually went to the tournament and everyone was kind of telling me about it. So in one of the previous videos, I was talking about how on Friday, my wife surprised me with this was after work, so at supper, we were kind of chit-chatting and everything, and she hands me an envelope and says, open this up. The envelope has instructions as to 1 CAD, 1 ally, 1,500 points, and just got to concentrate here. I can't do 2 things at once. So 1 allied detachment and Lord of War are cool and good to go. Was the other bit that was mentioned in there. So yeah, I had a little bit over 12 hours to prepare. So I was getting ready. I got this envelope, basically opened it up, and it was 3 missions for a tournament that was going on the following day. So essentially what was happening is for the past 3 months, my wife and all my friends were getting together and basically planned out a tournament for my birthday with prize support and missions and a lunch, and there was coffee on hand, and it was just, I was absolutely blown away. Anyways, what happened at the tournament was, I gotta push that in 1 second. There we go. Haha, clips in place. Do you happen to like Total? I haven't played Total Warhammer. No, I've heard some good things about it. I've never really gotten to Fantasy or Age of Sigmar or anything like that, so I wasn't really into that game when it first came out. I've heard various different reviews on it. What are your thoughts on it? I'm kind of wondering. Is it any good? Like I heard when it came out, there was a lot of concerns about DLC, certain factions not being included, and you had to purchase them separately. So I heard there was some disappointment around that. But how is it so far? Just click this into place there. Everything looks okay. Okay. Oh yeah, I will definitely have check out your channel for sure, for sure. So you have a review up there then? Or probably game, I would assume streaming gameplay and stuff like that as well. So if you guys are interested in Total Warhammer, take a look at Atomic Gaming's channel. It sounds like they've got some coverage on that game there. The only thing I've really played PC-wise that's 40k at all related is what is it? Eternal Crusade. So I played around with that a bit. I haven't turned it on in ages though, so should really jump back in and have a little bit of fun. Oh, good. All right, awesome. So keep an eye out on his Atomic Gaming's channel for an upcoming review of Total War Warhammer. Cool. But dude, I've been playing with Eternal Crusade myself. I've got a lot of mixed feelings about it. I like the fact that you can play Eldar. I like the fact that you can play orcs. The orc community is hilarious. They are so much fun to play with. A lot of them actually chat in orc, I guess. Use a lot of orc mannerisms and stuff in their chat. So that's really neat. The Eldar are fun. I love being able to play a swooping hawk. Like, there really isn't another game where you can really do that, right? So that's really, really cool. The Marines are neat. They've got weight to them when they're running around, so that's really cool. But there's a lot of lag, and I found that they have a campaign system. Yes, it did go free to play. That's right. Yeah, the campaign system really kind of. Why aren't you going in there? The campaign system kind of fouls up the gameplay a bit because everyone's trying to get the campaign completed, or they're trolling trying to stop people from completing the campaign. So you've got clans that are specifically going out there fighting people off, which is cool, but it kind of sucks if you're trying to complete it. So for Total War, there's some DLC, hoarding, of course, yeah. It's Sega, yeah. Can you do, I guess. Gotta modify a little bit of this. It's not going in the hole. Ha ha ha. Alright, this tail fin. Come on, go in there nicely. Okay. It fits. It doesn't fit exactly. Mold lines. I saw this one guy post a comment about mold lines. I know everyone kind of rags on that, which makes a lot of sense, right? If you're gonna, I guess, put the time and energy to do a really nice paint on a model, you want to get rid of the mold lines, I suppose. I can appreciate that. But this one guy said that he wants to take a model, keep all the mold lines on, the sprue cuts and everything, and paint it up, but do like weathering, wet blending, and dry brushing, specifically to call out those mold lines. So actually highlight the mold lines and the sprue flash and stuff like that. I thought that was rather comical. Let's see. All right, not bad. Still not, stupid thing. Still not going in there. Why isn't that fitting? So far everything's been fitting together really nicely except for this one piece. I don't want to cut down too much because I'm worried about stability. Oof, I don't want to cut down any more of that. Yeah, it sounds like it was a reskin of Empire, but I guess if it works for the most part, right? why really go out of the way to try and rebuild it if it works okay? But I know some people probably aren't too happy about that, but probably want it all much more unique. There you go. There's the model so far, guys. It's coming along. I just had to do a lot of work on the tail piece. It's not as nice as the Crimson Hunter. It doesn't go in as nicely. Oh, you stinker, get in there. Oh, don't you screw up. I just put glue all over you. Okay. So far, so good. All right. All right. So, just kind of holding this to get it to adhere. Looks straight. So far, so good. All right. So we've got a hemlock coming along here. Maybe we'll do the other bits a little bit later. Get some wings on here. And then we'll do the weapon bits a bit later on. I got to think about what to do for the base. If I'm going to dress it up in any way, shape, or form. The previous bases, I haven't done a lot. So, just a few Eldar bits, nothing too fancy. So, the Crimson Hunter, wherever I put that, is done up a little bit nicer, but I usually just put a few bits on. Like here's the Void Raven. Got a few Eldar bits. I have some Space Marine bits, so I might want to try that out, I think. Maybe add some Space Marine bits to the base. I gotta see how it fits on the base too. The Void Raven didn't fit this. It didn't seem to fit the same way as some of the other ones. The Crimson Hunter, for example, or the Raven Wing or Razor Wing. Blah. So I had to do that base just a little bit differently, or at least I felt it didn't fit the same way. I could be crazy, which isn't far from the truth. One wing clipped. And we'll clip this wing here. Holy flash. There's lots of extra bits on this one. This one's going to take a little bit to clean up. The cleaner the cut you make on it, though, the less you got to clean off. Wow, that is a chunk of extra plastic. Let's see. Got those two pieces. We just need the gems and the cowl, the coverings. Take those off and clean those up too. That's one thing I've never really got into is pre-ordering. I don't. It seems like it's a way of getting around the what is it? The reviews. So I don't like that pre-order practice. Sprue's done. Oh, there's some building bits. Oops. There we go. We need that. We need these two little gem pieces too. So we got those two little gem pieces we're gonna have to cut off. Big gems. One gem. And another gem. Here's something for you guys. Do you guys paint all your gems? Every single one. Do you guys paint them? Do you only paint some of the larger ones? Do you only paint the small ones? I like painting them all. For myself, anyways. I find it's a little bit, a little nicer when you kind of take care of them all. Okay, so we've got all those pieces. I just need those circles. These circles, which is right wing, left wing. Number 25. Number 25, number 24. Cool. $25, $24. That I can get that. Just painting the ones with the casing around them. That makes sense. No, that really does make sense. Do I want? No, I'm not gonna bother. No, I can't change out the pieces, so I'm not gonna worry about magnetizing it. And I don't even know if I'm going to use an X-Arc for my Crimson Hunter now. It's pretty pricey. It's a lot of points. All the extra bits. All right, that's cleaned up. Hey, no, that's good. Trying to paint it, you know, get some of those striking bits to really come out, and why not, right? Might as well. All right, so that's pieces done and ready to go. Clean off another one here. Click. So at some of the stores around here, we used to be able, well, back home anyways, we used to be able to get a lot of these little modeling kits with various different knives and blades, but I haven't been able to find any lately. Getting the blades themselves, I want to say blister packs, the refills for blades, they're pretty easy to get a hold of, but I really want better, newer handles for some of them, because some of the older ones, they're starting to lose the threading. They're like forever old though, the kits that I have. I think some of the kits are like 20 years old, if not more. Oh my gosh, I need new stuff. They're all new blades, but it is time for some new handles. I had one kit. it was a gift, and I appreciate it because the blades were really nice that came with it. But the piece here that held the blade in place was plastic. That was just so weird. Because you could tighten it, but once you tightened it, there was a good chance that it would loosen up. And sometimes if you tightened it too much, it cracked the plastic, or the plastic would bend or compress. Just so weird. I'll see what I can do. I'll definitely take a look at the channel and see what I can do. Absolutely, I'll take a look at this stuff. I apologize. I have a limited amount of time, and I feel so bad because there's so many great people out there that have some really good content, and I only have so many hours in the day, and a lot of them are devoted to either work or family. So I don't get to watch YouTube as much as I'd like to. I do try to get in some specific channels when I can, but if I do get a chance, I do try and watch as many videos as possible. But oh yeah, so I'm not the only one that's come across the plastic ones. That's weird. I was so surprised when I saw that. Let's see what we can do here. Okay, gem's almost done up nicely. Almost done nicely there. Let's see. And wow, it's almost like a Zen when you get into filing off the little extra bits and everything. It's actually, I find painting stressful, but I find modeling exceptionally relaxing. Like just shaving down the extra bits, just working through the model's instructions and everything. I really like that. One thing for sure, I like doing, like I showed a little bit earlier, the Nightwing conversions that we did as a community project back in the day. This was my zen, was putting these guys together. So much fun. Can't wait for the Forge World rules on those things. They're definitely going to have less wounds, I would assume, compared to a lot of the other flyers. I'm hoping that they're harder to hit is a -2 to represent agility and just their really stealthiness from the previous editions. They were so hard to hit, and I love that about them. They were really a glass hammer, so they'd fly in, blow something up, and if they did get shot at, you either chose to jink and lost your shooting, well, didn't lose it, but snap firing half the time it felt like you lost it, and get a really decent save, or risk it and there's a good chance you're dead, because 2 hull points didn't last long at all. But from what I'm seeing with a lot of the sorry guys about the squeaks, I want to get that rough edge off there. When it comes to Forge World, they've been doing really really nicely for a lot of their, well, rules wise, for a lot of their models. The Brass Scorpion looks great. I know one of my friends plays a Brass Scorpion. Beautiful. Like the painting and the conversions this guy does with his Chaos Army is just outstanding. Like it puts my army to shame, especially the painting. The how he manages to get a blue to be so striking yet so dark is just beyond me. I don't know how he does it, but they just turn out so nice. So there's a lot of really creative people in our area, which I'm so lucky. I live near a game store, which is pretty much in the middle of nowhere. When you're looking at cities, we're just a small city in comparison to something like North Bay, Ontario, or something like let's say Ottawa or something. It's just so small, this place. Larger than my hometown, though. Definitely much larger in my hometown. But with that said, there's a fantastic game store. It's called Perkins Hobby House, and it's located in Petawawa. And store owner is great, Gary. He's fantastic, and the dedication to the hours of operation. He won't send you away. Like if he has to close and because of whatever reason, he'll say, you know what, we got to get going. But for the most part, he has in the past stayed open for us a little bit later than normal, and he's just such an accommodating fellow. And it's essentially a house that it was turned into a gaming store, and it's just fantastic. There's just so many tables. Downstairs of the house is broken up into various different rooms. There's a few rooms dedicated to like Magic the Gathering, and a few rooms dedicated to D&D, And then there's the gaming table rooms. There's Flames of War going on. We've got bolt action, which is actually, oh my gosh, I didn't really like Flames of War. It was cool. I loved having tanks and stuff like that, but I just couldn't get into the game as much as I tried. It was fun, but I just, the army I wanted just didn't play well. So whatever. That's my own fault. That's not the fault of the game. But bolt action looks like a lot of fun too. There's a bunch of guys that are into it and playing on, I think Sundays they come out and play at the store. And it has a really neat turn system. So essentially you put dice in a bag and you draw dice, and you basically have a dice. Oh, let me start over. Each unit gets a dice, and you put all of your dice, and your opponent puts all the dice for their army into a bag, and then you draw dice, and that's how the turn progresses. So everyone, you draw one dice at a time, and that unit is essentially activated. Let me just see if I can get this gem on here before I get off. So basically you draw dice and you keep going until all the dice are drawn, and that's how you determine who basically plays. So you pull a dice, that person moves their unit, pull another dice, that person moves their unit, and everything, shoots and stuff, and then the turn progresses that way, which is really unique, and I like that about it. I would prefer a more armored focused game, which is essentially Flames of War, but it is kind of neat because it's skirmish focused, so your small units are important, which is pretty neat. They've been playing 2 versus 2 games a lot lately too. 120. Oh wow, 120 kilometers. That's horrible. Let's see. To drive to Perkins, it's about 10-15 minutes for me. So it's like 20-30 kilometers, depending on the route you take. But if I didn't have Perkins near me, I'd have to drive 200 or so kilometers to get to North Bay, which would be, what's the name of the store there? North Bay Games and Hobbies, which is another great place to go and play games. So if you guys are in the North Bay area, that's a fantastic place to go to as well. And then of course we've got Ottawa, which has I don't remember the store that we used to. Fandom, I think Fandom was one of the stores we'd go to. And then we also go to Multizone, which is over in Gatineau. So we're pretty lucky. We've got a lot of stores around here. So we're getting there. Pieces are all cleaned up. What's the first step? So we put the gems on. Then we got to put the little sticky bits in. These little round bits. Ooh. Do I remember how little round bits go in? They go in a specific way. If I recall, they do. Not. They don't go in a specific. Well, they do, but it doesn't matter. It's not like specific to one side or the other, which is always good. So we got to put it in this thing. So we'll put it in the actual piece here, and then we'll put the covering on. Make sure the important bit is sticking out. And we'll glue that on. But I appreciate you guys kind of listening in and stuff. Might not be the most exciting, but I do appreciate you guys kind of hanging out with me while I assemble this Wraith Fighter, Hemlock Wraith Fighter. Okay, that's one wing done. Wing number 2, without weapons, of course. I'm not really worried about the weapons right now. That is something we are going to explore, I think, a little later on. But definitely jumping into that shortly. Oh, I need tweezers. My fingers are too fat. There. that's one thing I need to seriously look into are proper tweezers. I've got regular tweezers around, but when you deal with magnets, you want tweezers made of non-ferrous metal, or I've never actually used plastic ones, so I don't know if that would work, but those non-ferrous ones are supposed to be really sweet for working with magnets. I have this weird feeling that it's not right. It's right. It just, I got a bad feeling about this. Yeah, it's got to be right. So that's her so far. She's getting there. Hour and a half. Oh man, you are a trooper. Damn. All right, so we got the wing done. We got 2 wings done. Now we gotta glue the wings on and then get that little fiddly extra bit. Wait, why do I have a check mark here? You put the wing on correctly. All right, so I gotta find the good glue bits, points, pieces. Contact points. Do I need to clean anything off? Good. Sorry guys, it's not bonding. All right, so I've got the contact points figured out. I just need to make sure that it's staying in place. One thing I'm really curious about is what people are going to be doing flyers. Are people going to be going towards flyers? Are they not? I hope so. I like seeing them on the table. They're fun. Yeah. There we go. Okay. Looks good. It just needs some wings. All right. The part I'm nervous about, and I don't know why, there's just something just doesn't look. Why doesn't it feel like it's fitting properly? Like I said, measure or dry fit lots, then glue it. Make sure every little crappy little bit's out. Come on. That looks like it. One more time. How many times can he dry fit this model? Is he going to do it this time? Yes, or maybe not. Let's see. Oh. Hey. All right, so let's see. No doubt about it. You got it. Yeah, we're situated over in Ontario here. All right. Okay, that fits in that slot. Locks down. I don't remember it not fitting properly last time, so it's gonna fit. It's gonna fit, and it's gonna look amazing. I've been really excited to hear about everyone's opinion of 8th edition with all the various different test games going on lately from all the different channels and stuff. It's been so much fun getting all the various different feedback from everybody. It seems like it's been a positive experience compared to a lot of other editions. I know when we moved from 5th to 6th, that was pretty hard for myself, at least. I had a hard time with that transition, mostly because I really liked 5th, and I felt it was a good system at the time, and really invested a lot of time and energy into making that edition work for me. So there was a lot of stuff I liked about it. I loved a lot of the different cover mechanics. It just felt good. 6th, I didn't care for. 7th, we all know 7th had its ups and downs, but 8th so far, it feels like a much smoother transition. I need a base. Oh no, why aren't you fitting in? Come on, just pretend to fit for now. Damn it. Why? Oh, this base fit in here. Okay, that's good enough for now. So we got that base on there. I gotta take a look at this wing. Make sure it's clean too. Okay. So far, so good. Oh, I don't want to put it down on its wing. Back to the stand. Okay. So the wing looks pretty good so far. So let's put some glue on here. And I think we're good. Probably add a little bit more up here. There we go. All right. Next wing. Oh, all the test fitting back and forth. I did both wings. That's one reason why it took so long. Yeah, that's one thing about the lore. This is a very unique edition, considering it's actually advanced. The fluff, the lore, that was really exciting when I heard about that. And in 3rd edition, we had that big campaign, that worldwide campaign. They're doing that again, which is surprising and definitely welcomed. I'm going to be traveling for a bit of it, but I'm really, really excited to taking part in the campaign. I think that's really neat. Okay, you seem to be working. I don't want to mess around with that too much, but wings on. We're getting there. Just need the little fiddly bits, I think. All right, wings are on. Check mark, yes. Next is the shock pod and the D size. I'm not worried about those ones right now. We want the canopy, which I'm just going to glue on because I don't care. Oh, Mandrake, yes. I felt bad for the Mandrakes lately. They haven't really received as much coolness as they should have. Those things, guys, were just creepy. I feel like like some kind of weird demon guys. I have some 3rd ed Mandrakes. They look hilarious. Look like bondage masks and just weird. Nope, not yet. Doesn't quite fit. They have a decent weapon. I'd have to look at how they work in cover, though. I don't know if they have a really good cover bonus compared to like something like a ranger or whatever. They used to be really good for holding down objectives in the back, but I'm not sure what they're going to work for this time. Oh, the fight between Horus and the Emperor's supposed to be changing or something like that? Yeah, that's such an important event that happened, and it's so well documented as far as the books are concerned, at least. Would be interesting though if they had Sanguinius or whatever his name is come back. Be pretty cool. Okay. The canopy is on. There's some weird mold. I'm glad I'm not doing a clear canopy with this one. The canopy has some kind of weird mold line in it, right in the center of it. It's weird. I don't know if you guys can see that or not, but no, probably not. It's got this little kind of like hair fracture. No, like it's not fractured all the way through, but it's got like a whole split in it. Oh well, doesn't matter. We're painting over it. All right, next, these weird, bizarre thingamajiggers. So we'll stick the thingamajiggers on, and then we'll be done except for the shock pod and the weapons. And then all we need to do is base coat tomorrow, well, prime, then base coat, detail, and make it look awesome. Oh, so that gateway that Vec was basically hiding or keeping locked up was where the mandrakes came from? That's cool. I didn't know that. I thought it was just some random demon gateway or webway portal that was infested with demons or something. That's cool. Oh gosh, Yunari, you're gonna resurrect Sanguinius? You're welcome, Imperial players. We're giving you guys back all your Primarchs. We'll take your thank yous in planets. Haha. Starting with Mars. Why not start with Mars? Or, well, Pluto. Okay. There is a lot of flash on this fiddly bit. Most of the pieces were clean. This thing's just gross. Oh, it's always the curves too. One of the spare Harlequin ones. So Noble's saying that there was another thing where the special Mandrake character got the last. Oh yeah, I liked him. When you put him on the table, I can't remember what you'd say. Like it wasn't Doom, but it was like I loved. He was so funny to play. You know, a true Dark Eldar player would say it too. Oh, Frank, what did we used to say when we put him on the table? I'm coming for you. Yeah, Vulcan's definitely going to come back because he's a perpetual. The Space Wolves just creep me out. Those Space Wolves, I know people love Space Wolves. I know people love Blood Angels, but they're messed up. they're genes. They've got vampires and werewolves all over the place. They're creepy. Creepy. Sorry about the squeaking, but I don't know of a quiet way to do this. I don't want to do it slowly though. It's like a band-aid, just get it off. Yeah, that Skull Collector, I have my codex, but it's in the other room and I don't want to go run and find it. Yeah. Werewolves, Wolfkin. Those guys were gross in 7th. Oh, they were hard to beat. I always had to try and find ways of getting around those storm shields, shooting them from behind or something. But then the guys I'd play against got wise to it. And, okay, so the gem goes at the front. And they'd position their shields all throughout their unit. So I couldn't jump them from behind. Oh my gosh, it actually fits. Wow. Go GW. Thank you for making this kit awesome and take into consideration people like me who can find any way to foul up really well-made kits. Don't put this on backwards. Don't put this on backwards. Don't put this on backwards. Oh. So, do you guys use plastic glue or super glue? Ah, no! It came off the base and now it fell out and now it's chaos and oh, there it goes. There it goes. Everything was fitting perfectly. And then no, everything's going to shite. Nuts. I swear, I measured twice. Do you guys use plastic glue or super glue? Use plastic, yeah. Yeah. Nice thing about plastic, I think, you don't get those raised parts like you do with super glue, because it melts it, right? So you don't have certain pieces where the model's kind of raised in those places where they're supposed to be flush. Crap, I'm gonna have to green stuff that. Crap. Oh well, I done messed that up. Okay, and this one slides in like that. And it's not staying still. Stay still, don't move. There we go. It's creaking like an old door. That's just, I don't know. It's staying, but it's not cooperating. Oh, wait. Why is it doing that? I swear I didn't have this kind of problem with my Crimson Hunter. Alright, see if we can fix this with... There we go. And blarg. Everything worked perfectly up until now. I don't know what's going on here. It's not cooperating. I'm just going to slide it in and I'm going to green stuff it. Because it's starting to piece me off. Alright, that should be fine. Are they lined up? Lined up with the tips, so we should be good. What halves? Let me see what's going on with this base though. What the heck's going on here? Oh, works with this one. It doesn't work with the other one. It's because it's Dark Eldar. Totally. Totally because it's Dark Eldar. It's the only reason. I don't know. I don't know. Alright, so we've got this. Anyways, let's stop farting around with this thing and put them on there. Alright, so I got a gap. I got a stupid gap on each side. So I'm going to have to green stuff that. But of everything, that's the only gap I really have, so that's okay. I can live with that. But I need to get this base on. Get the base on. Get the base on. Because I want to put the guns on. Okay. Derby, you're totally out of frame. There we go. That's done. That'll melt. How did I get into there last time? Can I get in? Oh, there we go. Beauty. There. She's on her base. She's happy. She's content. Finally. Just take it off that chunk. Damn, that gap is huge. How am I gonna fix that? That's bugging me. Oh. That'll, oh ho ho ho. Get blah. Go away, top. I think I can fix it. We got ever so gentle. This is crazy. I think. Okay, this side's good. Just a little bit of a gap at the back, but we can fix that with green stuff. So that's not bad. And then this one, need to get a little bit of that crud off there. Try and redo this one. How to screw up the model on the very last step. I will find a way. I will find a way. Do you know of Skaven? Yes, I do. A friend of mine plays them in Sigmar. He's he had a fair-sized Skaven army with whatever the last edition was for Fantasy, and then continued it into Sigmar. Although I don't think he plays Sigmar very often. Hey Real, how you doing? Welcome to the party. Alright, so I'm gonna have to green stuff some stuff here, but I'm okay with that. I think I'm okay with that. Just need to a little bit of glue. Oof. Okay. Yeah. So I didn't have to green stuff the Crimson Hunter, but I gotta green stuff this stupid thing. Whatever. Sounds good. We'll do it. There. Alright. So now we've got this guy on. Some gaps, but not much I can do about those gaps though until I get my green stuff in there. Man, those gaps are big. But I can fix it. I can fix it. I can fix it. I'll be fine. So yeah, paint it all down, and then I think we're gonna put on the shock pod next. Where's the shock pod? How do you put that thing together? I think it's like a ton of little bits, right? Little fiddly bits. All right, shock pod. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 bits. 7 fiddly bits. Script. D-size it is. Come on, clip nicely. It's always the small ones I'm always scared about. Not necessarily losing, because I can usually grab them, but I'm always worried about bending or breaking the really fine parts. These models are have some really nice fine bits on them. There we go. What's the story behind Skaven? How did they come around? I never really looked into the fantasy stuff or Age of Sigmar stuff. Like elves have always been kind of my thing when it came to D&D or MMOs or just about anything. I like elves. I don't know why pointy ears are a thing. I guess they're cool. But the fantasy I went with Eldar. Elves. I thought they were pretty cool. Dark Eldar were released. I'm like, they're pointy elves. That's even cooler. I like that. And then I was looking into fantasy, and I just couldn't get around this is funny, Eldar are pretty much coneheads, but the massive helmets, it was just distracting. I couldn't get past it. It just wasn't really my thing when it came into to the different armies. Granted, the model still looked amazing. It's just I couldn't get past the helmets. So the Skaven came from an ancient city. Were they made? Did someone make them? I guess I could really Google it. That's pretty lazy of me, getting someone to do story time while I'm building. Sorry. Oh, my Canadian's showing. Oops. Okay, so way before the Empire kind of was around then. Okay. That's gone. No! Oh, gray piece falls on gray floor, never to be found again. All right. Sideways and down. Cool. 1 D-size and D-size itty bitty bit. And number 2 D-size. Love that. You try and cut off a little fine piece and you think you're lined up and you press down and you're not even on the model or the plastic bit. You're actually just pressing down on the cutting board. Yep. I'm an expert. Not quite. Oh, okay, cool. Building a tower, inscribing some stuff to the gods. Boof. Ratmen everywhere. I like how 40k is a complement to or a reimagined kind of fantasy armies in space. Got your elves, you've got your humans, you've got your, I guess, skeletons with the Necrons and stuff. It's pretty cool. Are we already out of glue on this little piece? That's one nice thing I like about the little tiny glue canisters is that oops, you can easily glue your fingers together. No. Alright, so anyone playing along at home, that's 3 times I've glued my hand to something. Because I'm a professional model assembler. Yep. Oh, is that where that screaming bell kind of comes from? So he rings the bell. Uh-oh. That can't be good. The rains are coming. Oh, beautiful. Rats come in. They're big rats. Rats for everybody. Rats for days. Alright, take 2 in putting on Fiddlybit. Haha, Fiddlybit has gone on-ish. Kind of. Insert slot A, or sorry, insert tab A into slot B and pray that you clip the darn thing appropriately. And yet, I haven't. How did I mess up taking off one piece of plastic? I'm really sure I got that piece off. Alright, let's get this on. Alright, so what else can we see here? Oh, cool. So they'll escape to the undergrounds. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Was that the best place to go? Alright. D-size, you're done. D-size 2. Let's triple check you because that one was a pain. Cut a little extra out of here just in case. Alright, so the nice thing about the little glue canisters, so these tiny little ones that I use, I can usually get about a model or so out of it, and you get 3 in a package. I like how I don't have to worry about the glue kind of sealing up the nozzle because there's not really a lot of glue in there in the first place. There's like, what, 5 grams? 1 gram. Whew, okay. That's a lot less than I thought. So there's only like 1 gram of glue in here. So you use it up and then you're all set to go. And then you can always open a new one later on, right? Oh no, you were so easy to get off before. Alright. So again, we're not magnetizing this thing because I'm not really going to use it as anything else. If I really want to, I can always take it apart because the glue is just super glue. Wait for that to dry. Perfect. And then the next one. Oh, I don't want to lean on that. Birth of the Skaven race. That's what happens when you don't get references for your contractors. You end up with rats. Lots and lots of rats. Very cool. Wait, why isn't that slot lining up? That's weird. Okay, let's see if we can. Old school it. Perfect. Stupid flash. Keep missing it. I need better lighting in here. That's one of the biggest issues. I need a proper light. Because I can't see anything in this light. And it would probably look a lot better too. Like the camera's so grainy because the light's so dim. So that piece goes up top. Should go in like that. Perfect. The D-sides are in place. Are the vampire counts still around in Sigmar? Or did they axe them? Wasn't sure about that. Okay. This mine shock pod, I really don't want to put this together. Maybe I can't if I don't have the pieces. Alright, clip. 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 Alright, and clip. Clip. And clip. There we go. Next piece. More fiddly bits. Oh, okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 of the little wings, and I need this piece here. Okay. I have to cut that off and then cut it off like this. Don't cut off the spine. There we go. That's there, and then this piece. This piece. A second last piece. And I have to sneeze. Oof. There. Alright, how to make a mine shock pod. Number 1. Okay. That's cool, that's cool, that's cool. I think we have everything we need from that. And we just need to clean these things up. Nice and clean. What time is it? Oh my gosh, it's 11 o'clock. Why are you guys not in bed? Because I'm crazy. I should be. Because I got an early day tomorrow. Alright. Alright, sorry guys, I'm quiet. I'm just trying to concentrate so I don't cut my finger off here. Because sharp. Okay, That one's good. This piece of the pod. Or the puzzle. Puzzle pod. There we go. Four a.m. Oh my gosh. That's rough. That's rough. 4 a.m. Oof. So 4 a.m. and it's 11 right now. 6 hours. I think UK's 5 hours different, so somewhere in Europe-ish kind of thing. That's cool. I gotta get back out to Europe or actually to the UK sometime. I was out in Nottingham a bunch of years back. When Fifth Ed first came out, the launch day, I was over in the UK at Warhammer World. That was cool. They were so nice there. Let that sprue. Let's see. They had the release, which was really neat. I got my book pretty much the release date. I think actually it was like a day earlier or something like that. They were really nice about it. But I got it signed, so I got to meet Phil Kelly. He was really cool. I tried to see if I could get a tour or something like that, but you know, secrets. Can't give some crazy Canadian access to, well, really anything. And me, I have a hard time keeping secrets, so if I saw something cool, I'd be like, oh my god, you guys gotta hear about this. It's amazing. So, yeah. But it was really neat being able to kind of check out the place. Huh? Shoot. Again, gray piece, gray floor, lost forever. Don't die. Guess the country. I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. Country. I'm so terrible with my European countries. It's, okay. I'm not going to do phony questions because I'll be here all night. But if I had to roughly guess, I'm just going to throw it out there and say, what's... say like the Netherlands or something like, no, not Netherlands. Say, I was going to say like Germany off the top of my head, so I don't know. First global empire, longest standing one. I don't know. I only study like 150 years worth of history. We're terrible over here for history. We don't even know half our own history. Let's see. All right, so the sticky backy bit's in, and then I guess I just have to stick on these other little bitty bits with the blades going full. Oh, why do they have to do that? Gotta make it complicated. Oh, ha! Norris came over here, settled down, and said, wow, it's way too cold, way too wet. We're going back forget this. And I don't blame them. The weather's been ridiculous here. Like, it gets so cold and so hot sometimes. Grease? Ooh. Come on, back up, back up, back up. What is going on? It looks correct, and yet it's not. Right? I don't like this shock pod at all. Mine shock pod fail. Why aren't you fitting in place? Alright, so the longer spines that connect together are dumb. Do not like, do not want. But the two little ones fit together fine. These ones are cool. No problems with these. Shoot, shoot, shoot. Yep. Don't cut towards yourselves, kids. Remember to cut away. I'm the worst for that. Oh my gosh, these finicky little bits are a pain in the butt. I gotta concentrate so much on those, I can't talk to you guys. So then it makes it very boring. All right, spine number 5 or 3 in. I guess, yeah, 4, I guess. There's 5 spines on this silly thing. Why are you still on there? I thought I cut you off. Oh, this. The Encarn was easier to put together than this stupid thing. I had a lot of fun putting that one together too. Yanari for the win. They're a beast faction. Oh my gosh. They're creepy though. A little too creepy for me. Shock pod is done. So, yeah. Perfect. All right. So we just put the shock pod into the little plastic bit, and we are done. Excellent. So we'll do that. And we are all set to go. All set to go. Cut up this sprue a little bit, get it out of the way. And we are finite. All right. Oops, dropped something. Shoot. Oh no. Oh well, doesn't matter. I'll find it later. Anyways, I guess that's it, guys. We're done assembling a Wraith Fighter. How cool is that? So this is done. It's there. I got to do a little bit of mold work. Yeah, and make it so I can't see. Oh my gosh, it just looks amazing. So I got to do some mold work on the sides here. I got to fill in all those gaps because I don't know what happened to it, but didn't cooperate, so I got to fix it. But with that said, I think it turned out half decently. So, you know what? The Death Jester was a little bit of a pain. The first time, like, yeah, the first people that came to Canada, Norse people. Like, I don't remember what they were. Oh shoot, can't remember what they're called. What they're called appropriately, but yeah. Oh, there's the piece. Anyways, Death Jester was a bit of a pain. I do agree with that, and not as much of a pain as the Incarn. I know a lot of people were complaining about him. A lot of little fiddly extra bits, and there were a few pieces that just kind of sat on the model, so it was just a little weird on how it kind of went together. So I don't know, but anyways, with that said, I appreciate you guys kind of hanging out with me as I kind of put this model together. Thank you so much. I got to start putting some stuff on the base, which I'm going to start doing in a little bit, and once I'm done putting stuff on the base, I will probably do no, I'm not going to do a live painting. I'm just going to do hey guys, here's what it looks like now, because me painting is a bad idea. Yeah, because when I put paint to brush to model, bad things happen. All right, with that said, thanks so much for tuning in, guys, and Sweden, maybe? Not Norse, no, I don't remember. You'll have to message me and let me know. But I think thank you so much for kind of tuning in, guys. And I'm tired. I gotta get to be at bed. And yeah, we'll see how things go. Keep in mind, we're gonna be doing some more videos on specifically Elder. I'm gonna go through the index as soon as I get it, and we'll talk all about the different units. And I'll try and do some more battle reports soon. So with that said, I will talk to you guys later. Thanks so much for hanging out. Bye now.